busy, or just before rush hour here, as we get to the top of the 4 o'clock hour, you can see there's a fair amount of traffic. And if he continues driving like this, especially through some of these red lights, then they're going to have to pull back and rely on that helicopter to really be their eyes from up above. And at some point here, you're going to see more local jurisdictions take part in this pursuit, and potentially even CHP if they are requested.
In the meantime, okay, there he is. He's turning onto, I guess, Valley View Street, Chris, but a lot of congestion in this area.
A lot of congestion, and interestingly, this is the second time he's been on Valley View Street. So he's done something of a loop through this part of the county, and that may provide, again, an opportunity for some prediction here. Again, if they can establish a pattern, that's what they're looking for. If he comes back down Valley View Street and they can get units ahead of him, then maybe they could lay down a spike strip. But from my vantage point, he really appears to be driving too fast and too erratic. I don't see them. They don't have the manpower down there to really triangulate in this kind of a situation, especially with all the traffic this afternoon. He's really just off to the races here. 67 miles per hour up Valley View Street, almost double the speed limit as he comes up on another busy intersection through a red light there, not even slowing down, not even a sign of braking as he went right through that red light there. And now we're going to start to see, I would imagine, those lead units start to pull back slightly. It's going to be very difficult for them to keep up with him in this kind of traffic as he continues speeding through these intersections.
Especially going 70+ miles per hour in that big truck, and the way he's just disregarding any kind of traffic stop signs or lights. It's a pretty dangerous situation. Seen him go through a few crosswalks as well.
He's not going to be able to stop quickly either if he goes into another one of those intersections against a red light and there's something oncoming or coming across the freeway, excuse me, the intersection. That's going to be terrible.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's very, driving these trucks under normal conditions is not like driving a regular car. Braking has to be very calculated. You can't brake too hard. You lose control of the vehicle, and you certainly can't be, swerving through intersections at a high rate of speed. Already on several occasions, we've seen him make those wide turns, extra wide turns occasionally, even going into partially into oncoming lanes of traffic. Fortunately, the area that we're talking about here, you're not going to see many pedestrians. It's a pretty, it's a very heavily trafficked vehicle area, but where we are now, just south of Los Alamitos, is really not very prevalent to see a lot of crosswalks as we make our way further towards the west here. Until he gets further towards downtown Long Beach, then we'll start to see some more commercial activity. But right now, he's got a straightaway here along Westminster Avenue and Bolsa Chico Road as he continues to do about 75 miles per hour. Fortunately, though, they've been able to keep up with him. Seal Beach still has that primary unit about a football field behind that truck.
And Chris, do we know from where it was stolen? Pardon me if we've already told me that.
No, the original location, the original agency that began the pursuit was actually Manhattan Beach PD. So they've made their way through the South Bay here, starting near the beach and ending up all the way down near Seal Beach, which is where it sounds like Seal Beach PD took over this pursuit. I'm not sure if Manhattan Beach PD even has a unit in the pursuit still. I thought I saw one of their SUVs further back. We'll go ahead and widen out just a second. I think there is more than one agency in that conglomerate behind him. That is a Seal Beach primary unit. He's got at least 2 units, and both of them appear to be Seal Beach. So for right now, Seal Beach is the primary agency taking this over from Manhattan Beach PD, but so far not relinquishing this pursuit. They are still continuing to chase this guy down despite the dangerous driving with only the help of that CHP helicopter. So he's moving further west here into an industrial area just to the east of downtown Long Beach, again making his way westbound on Westminster Boulevard. Again, 2 people inside of that truck, and we have no idea what they are hauling in the back. Always another variable when you're talking about these box trucks. We have no idea what the motivation is for this driver.
Yeah, so there he is flying by as he continues to get into more congested traffic. That little straightaway was nice because you could tell it was wide open and there weren't a whole lot of people there. But now we're back to the crosswalks, to heavy traffic, and then this is when it gets really dangerous, Chris.
Yeah, it's going to get more dangerous here. You can see some houses off to the left there. So a combination of residential neighborhoods up ahead here, as well as commercial businesses. And the further west he gets, the closer we're going to get to the busier parts of Long Beach. And I mentioned what may or may not be in the back. We have no idea what is in the back of this box truck, and it's a good possibility he may not even know what is in the back of that truck either, because this is he's almost come in contact there right behind the tree. We'll see here if he made contact with that truck. He might have braked just in time, but I don't think he made contact there. Close call, though, to say the least, behind that tree as he continues weaving through traffic here. Further west, the further west we go, traffic is going to get a little bit busier. I was about to say this was reported to be a stolen U-Haul truck, so he probably does not even know what is in the back of that truck. So it matters what's in there, because if it's an empty truck, the truck will handle one way. If there's a lot of cargo in the back of that truck, that's a whole different situation. Either way, a very top-heavy vehicle that is difficult to maintain control. And some of these, look at this. This is going to get dramatically more dangerous here if he continues this behavior. Jumping over that center median, trying to lose those units, doing a U-turn, and now going the opposite way. He's now turned around, made a crazy U-turn over that concrete median, and now going eastbound on 2nd Street in the direction he came from. This may prompt Seal Beach to ask for mutual aid here. They may begin asking for more units to help out in this pursuit. They are out of their jurisdiction here, but they are still the primary agency. California Highway Patrol, though, they've been monitoring this the whole time. Also, the LA County Sheriff's Department will likely have units in the vicinity as well. Another wide U-turn there, and now he's going back westbound once again. So he clearly is either making this up as he goes along, or for some reason thinks that these U-turns are going to lose police. But they are pretty much, I don't want to say they're right on his tail. They're giving him a wide berth here, but you're going to see a lot more traffic, as we're seeing right here, coming up on another busy intersection.
Yeah, let's see how he maneuvers his way through these cars, and if he's going to hit anybody. I don't think he's hit anybody so far, but we don't know for sure. But this type of driving, this erratic driving, is certainly dangerous. And best case scenario, if they could maybe do a spike strip and figure out a pattern, if he starts driving around in some type of pattern, that's the best case scenario, I guess.
It just seems like they don't have the personnel to do it unless they do call for help, as Chris was saying. And then he did loop around twice, but you said they have been successful, at least Seal Beach units have been successful to basically stay close to his tail, right, Chris?
Right. Now he just crossed the Long Beach Marina, and still, despite all of that weaving through traffic, I've spotted at least 2 or 3 units that have managed to keep up with him throughout all of this crazy driving. It's only going to get busier the further west we get, and my worry is that the driving may start to get more aggressive, especially after you see him jumping medians and starting to do, just really erratic driving like that. Here he is, oncoming lanes of traffic, over the double yellow lines, a clearer glimpse now into the passenger seat. Hard to make out if it looks like the passenger is clutching on. Almost looks like she's clutching on to either a stuffed animal or a baby. I don't know what she's holding on to.
I think covering her face in terror. It looks
like. That might be it.
Maybe covering her face. That could be it. Yep.
Yeah,
that could be
scared.
It was difficult to my see. I know you guys have slightly larger monitors than I do. You may have a better vantage point, but she is clearly holding something up against her face.
Yeah.
And the driving continuing now through a parking lot off of Pomona Avenue. Behind a restaurant, through an alleyway here. Seal Beach pulling off slightly, but they are still very close. They haven't made that turn with him, but he is now speeding through an alleyway behind Covina Avenue near 2nd Street, a commercial district, and now making a right turn into a residential neighborhood just off of Corona Avenue. You can see the helicopter overhead circling, but what we don't see is those Seal Beach units that we saw just a minute ago making these turns with them. Have they pulled back at all? They've pulled back quite a bit. They've pulled out quite a bit, pulled back quite a bit here in the last 30 to 60 seconds. And now he is on his own through this residential neighborhood. CHP circling the stolen U-Haul. A desperate individual behind the wheel here, and to see that passenger covering her face if that's indeed what it did look like that, it makes you wonder now what is going on with that person. Is this person being held under duress? What is going on? We can only imagine what the situation is or how this started. But again, this is believed to be a stolen U-Haul. You can't even rule out the possibility that maybe this was a carjacking of some sort, and maybe the passenger is completely oblivious to who this person is who's driving this truck. I'm speculating here, but anything is possible based on what we're seeing here.
Certainly is. He's going into some little residential neighborhood now, it looked like, or a cul-de-sac, or?
Yeah, he may find a dead end in this neighborhood here. It might be a circle. He's pulling over, parking. He sees that there's nobody behind him. He sees a spot where he could dump the vehicle. He's going to walk away here, and the passenger is going to walk with him. The passenger's going to walk away with him. And he or she is carrying a lot of something, a lot of bags and clothing, all bundled up there. Really hard to make out a description. But now the driver going in one direction, the passenger moving in a different direction. Now it's really only a matter of seconds or short minutes before law enforcement pulls in here and takes these two down. They are not going to get very far. CHP has good eyes on these suspects. Let's go ahead and widen out just slightly to see if there's anybody in the area here. He's walking along the water. There's a channel that comes from the marina here at the end of Elliott Street. There's a marina, and now he is walking onto some rocks here. There is not easy access for the cops to get here, but here they are pulling into a parking lot. This will either become a foot pursuit unless he surrenders here in the next few seconds. Now walking towards those officers with his hands up. That's a good sign. Certainly appears he's going to surrender. Seal Beach now with their guns drawn as he assumes the position. Now proned out on the sidewalk, and this has now come to an end. Again, that passenger still outstanding. Walking away from the scene with a lot of clothing and I don't know if that was a shopping bag or whatever, but one person still at large. The driver now being taken into custody at the end of Elliott Street near the marina here in Long Beach. Yeah,
that went everywhere, all these different cities, but again, we've said this many times before, but as dangerous as it appeared, we're lucky that something more catastrophic did not happen, and then they had the wherewithal to not only get out of the vehicle, but he gave up when the officers arrived, which is all good news. Yeah, it's still a question as to the passenger and where he or she ended up going, but I'm sure that person is not far away either.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this certainly appears to have been a big joyride for that driver. Really no clear destination in mind, especially during, towards the end of this pursuit as he just kind of meandered into this neighborhood. Here's the passenger who isn't even walking away anymore, just kind of hanging out there, loitering along Paoli Way.
Interesting.
Near Belmont Park is where this came to an end, and you'll see here, we will see if they can get an officer over here to question or detain that suspect. But that person now walking along the street here with
making a phone call.
Lots of clothing there. So we'll see. He's just kind of meandering around here. Something tells me they will catch up to him any second here. Fortunately, the driver in custody. Nobody hurt during the course of this pursuit, but certainly some scary moments, especially towards the end there.
Approaching police officer right here, slowly coming up to this person. Let's see if, Yep.
I was going to say may or may not be aware, but certainly appears
Long Beach.
That he is aware. He's being communicated with. Maybe not. Okay. Police are aware, but that unit appears to have not been in the loop, perhaps. But police are aware of our sighting here along Appian Way and Monrovia Avenue, where this passenger is now on the phone. Again, just kind of meandering around the street here. Somebody will make their way. It's just a block over from where the pursuit ended and where they took the driver into custody. Just a matter of getting another unit over on this side to take this person in, and we will see if they can get somebody over here.
Yeah,
that's
talk about being nonchalant
and walking really
on
slowly
the phone, walking slowly, and not looking the part. But that is the person. We are absolutely sure of it, and somebody is watching that, or at least watching us, and able to kind of pinpoint where this person is. Perhaps the other helicopter stayed on.
There they are. There we go. All right, so police now out. They don't even have their weapon drawn. They're just going to walk right up to him.
Yep.
And if he cooperates here, it should be pretty easy. And it looks like he is cooperating.
Yeah.
And appear disoriented or just
He does
weary,
appear
who
disoriented.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Could be under the influence, you never know. But they were not even, I mean, they really were not concerned about him whatsoever. They walked right up to him. A little bit unusual there, to be honest with you. Just walked right up from behind him. And he has stopped, and he's giving himself up here.
Yeah.
But all's well that ends well. I mean, they really were able to end this one pretty peacefully here, and nobody hurt, as I mentioned.
Thank goodness, because that could have been a dangerous one. Chris Christie and Air 7HD, as always, excellent job, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Wrap that one up without a horrible tragedy.
Thank goodness. Yeah, well, we're going to take a little time and talk about the weather, because it's always been so cold the last few days. Is it going to warm up at all?
It is going to warm up a little bit, but not very much, Ellen. We're kind of in one of those situations where the Southern California is getting these cold air blasts, one right after the other, and this one has some wind with it. This is the next one.